Picture this. You're sitting at your desk, staring at a brand new offer letter. The salary says $250,000. You read it twice, just to make sure there isn't a typo. $250,000 a year. You've officially entered the top tier of earners. You think you've won. You think the money stress is over. No more checking prices at the grocery store. No more worrying about surprise expenses. No more anxiety every time the phone rings from an unknown number. Now fast forward exactly 18 months. You are sitting at the same desk, same laptop, same banking app, 2 days before payday, and you're holding your breath while waiting for your account balance to load. Because if the electric bill clears before your paycheck arrives, you might overdraft. How is that mathematically possible? How can someone making $250,000 a year feel one emergency away from disaster? According to surveys from PYM Ments and Lending Club, a surprisingly large share of high-income earners report living paycheck to paycheck. Not people making $40,000, not people making $60,000, people making well over $200,000. At first, I thought the answer was taxes. Then I thought it was housing. Then I thought it was inflation. But after digging through the numbers, I realized none of those were the real problem. The real problem is a hidden system. A system so common that millions of people join it without ever realizing it. A system that quietly converts raises into obligations, income into dependency, and success into stress. I call it the status subscription, and once you understand how it works, you will never look at a high salary the same way again. To understand the trap, we need to start with a simple distinction, a distinction that wealth researcher Thomas Stanley spent years studying. According to Stanley, there are two kinds of wealthy people. The first group is what we could call the income statement affluent. They earn impressive incomes. They look successful. They drive success. They wear success. They live inside success. The second group is balance sheet affluent. They often earn similar incomes. But instead of buying appearances, they buy ownership. The difference sounds small, but over decades, it changes everything. Let's meet a hypothetical couple. We'll call them the Millers. The Millers earn $250,000 per year, combined household income, solid careers, responsible people. Exactly the kind of family most people imagine when they think of financial success. Now here's where the illusion begins. Your brain sees $250,000, but your bank account never does. Before the Millers spend a single dollar, the money starts disappearing. Retirement contributions, federal taxes, state taxes, FICA taxes, health insurance. By the time the dust settles, their spendable income is roughly $13,250 per month. That's still a lot of money. More than enough to build serious wealth. More than enough to create long-term financial security. So why doesn't it happen? Because the Millers are about to make a mistake that almost every high earner makes. A mistake that feels completely rational in the moment. They're about to upgrade their identity. Most people think lifestyle inflation is the villain. It isn't. Lifestyle inflation is only the symptom. The real villain is the status subscription. And unlike Netflix, you never consciously sign up for it. The moment your income rises, your social expectations rise with it. You get a raise, you move into a nicer neighborhood. The nicer neighborhood changes what feels normal. The new normal changes what feels acceptable. And suddenly, expenses that once seemed ridiculous start feeling reasonable. The Millers buy a $750,000 home, not because they're irresponsible, because successful families are supposed to live in successful neighborhoods. Housing costs, roughly $4,800 per month. Then come the cars. Not Ferraris, not Lamborghinis, just the kind of vehicles people buy when they feel like they've finally made it. Another $1,900. Then daycare, student loans, utilities, subscriptions, maintenance, insurance, property taxes. Everything grows. And here's the part almost nobody notices. The house wasn't just a housing decision. It triggered car decisions, school decisions, Vacation decisions, social decisions, friend group decisions. One expense created 5 more expenses. That is how the status subscription works. Every upgrade quietly creates new upgrades. Every new baseline demands another baseline. And after all of it, the Millers have around $2,750 left out of a $250,000 income. Not because they spent too much, because they committed too much. And that's a completely different problem. A spending problem can be fixed next month. A commitment problem can take years. Think about it. You can cancel a dinner reservation. You cannot cancel a mortgage. You can skip buying new clothes. You cannot skip daycare. You can avoid a vacation. You cannot avoid the car payment. The danger isn't spending money. The danger is locking your future income into obligations. And once enough obligations pile up, your paycheck stops feeling like income. It starts feeling like oxygen. Now imagine something happens. Nothing dramatic, nothing extreme. One layoff, one recession, one health issue, one industry downturn. Suddenly, the Millers discover a terrifying truth. They don't own their lifestyle. Their lifestyle owns them, because almost every dollar is already promised to somebody else. The bank, the lender, the daycare, the insurance company, the utility company. Everyone gets paid first. The Millers get whatever survives. This is what I call the golden handcuffs. The higher their income became, the more dependent they became on keeping it. And that's why a family earning $250,000 can sometimes be more financially fragile than a family earning $80,000. Because fragility is not determined by income. Fragility is determined by how long you can survive without it. Now let's look at person B. Person B earns the exact same income, the same $250,000. The difference isn't intelligence. The difference isn't luck. The difference is structure. Person B understands one simple principle. Income creates opportunity. Fixed costs destroy opportunity. So instead of upgrading everything, they upgrade selectively. Their house is nice, just not maximum. Their cars are reliable, just not impressive. Their vacations are enjoyable, just not performative. From the outside, they look ordinary. From the inside, their finances are completely different. When their paycheck arrives, they don't have $2,750 left. They have roughly $7,000 left every month, month after month, year after year, and they quietly use that money to buy ownership. Pieces of businesses, index funds, rental properties, assets that produce future cash flow. While the Millers are making payments, person B is building ownership. While the Millers are renting status, person B is buying freedom. If person B invests $5,000 monthly at historical market returns, the numbers become astonishing over time, not because they're a genius, because compounding is doing the heavy lifting. Their investments begin generating income, then more income, then even more income. Eventually, something incredible happens. Their assets start working harder than they do. Most people believe wealth comes from a high income, but income alone has never created wealth. If it did, every doctor, lawyer, executive, and professional athlete would stay rich forever. Many don't, because income is not wealth. Income is fuel. What matters is where that fuel goes. The greatest luxury isn't the house. It isn't the car. It isn't the watch. It isn't flying business class. The greatest luxury is waking up on a Monday morning and knowing you don't need permission to live your life. Knowing one bad month won't destroy you. Knowing one lost job won't break you. Knowing your future isn't dependent on your next paycheck. That is freedom. And freedom is what wealth was supposed to buy in the first place. So the next time your income increases, ask yourself one question. Am I buying a better life? Or am I buying a more expensive cage? Because the people who look rich spend their income. But the people who become rich buy flexibility. They buy ownership. They buy options. And eventually, they buy their freedom. I'll see you in the next one.